Greetings, citizens of Nerdtropolis. Sean Tosh here, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and on this episode of Real Insights, my guests are the directors of the new film, Late Night with the Devil. Hey, Cameron and Colin.
Hi, Cameron.
Colin, good to meet you. How you going?
That's what I need. Point them out.
Yeah.
Congrats to both of you on such a unique gem of a film, Late Night with the Devil. I know theaters are actually excited to show it on their screens this weekend because my good friend Demir manages a theater out here, and he's excited to have moviegoers check out this film. And he calls it a unique masterpiece that is new and fresh for the genre.
Oh my God.
High praise.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I agree with the sentiments. Like, this movie was really awesome. And I was sad I could not see this film at Fantastic Fest, but I'm glad I finally got to see it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And whereabouts are you based?
We're in Houston, Texas, and there's a big, also a horror community out here. Everyone is looking forward to seeing this film finally. The buzz has been crazy. But first off, I have to ask, how did this movie making duo come about other than the obvious?
Yeah. No one else would work with us, so we were stuck with each other. Oh, look, I think as kids, we both loved movies, you know, we would often go to the movies together. Even though as teenagers, we weren't necessarily always best buddies or anything. You know, there's a few years between us, but movies was the thing that, you know.
It was the leveler.
Yeah. And we loved the same movies. I mean, Cam probably went more into I love my horror, but Cam probably got much deeper into the horror stuff, and I went into sort of more European art cinema for a while. But then, you know, we sort of got through our teenage years and came back and realized that horror was where it was at. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think it was a dream of ours as kids that we would one day make stuff. But as, you know, a couple of boys out in suburban Brisbane in the 80s, it just seemed totally unfeasible. Yeah. Like, that's an impossible dream.
Yeah.
And it remained that way for many years, actually. So, but to finally, you know, to get a film up 10 years ago and now on our third film, it really is a dream come true. But yeah, I guess it was a shared love, shared passion for cinema.
It's working. Y'all aren't fighting now. Y'all are probably getting along now, though. But so to follow up, you know, were there any specific films that influenced Late Night with the Devil, or just your careers in general? What are some of the gems y'all found when y'all were younger?
So many.
Yeah. Look, all that sort of late 70s, early 80s horror stuff that we were just consuming on VHS. Yeah, like if you want specific titles, I think Videodrome was a big one for us. I mean, I still remember seeing that as a young boy. And it had,
it damaged you for life.
I never quite got it, but I don't know.
Something was going on there.
Something was going, the visuals, just the concept, that idea, I think it stuck with us for a long time. I think it finds its way into Late Night in quite a big way.
Yeah. But there's a bunch of films. I mean, we love it all. I mean, we're not just horror fans, but, you know, you think of the 70s and films like Taxi Driver or Network, or, you know, that all somehow, I think, finds its way into the stuff that we do, even though there may be very different genres. But, you know, Cam, earlier we were talking about, you know, going to see Raiders of the Lost Ark together. Like, that was probably the seminal movie-going experience. We went, we didn't know what we were getting into. Like, I don't think we realized that, you know, Steven Spielberg was attached. It's just like, it was a preview screening in our little hick town back in Australia. And we went along and were just blown away. And we had to go back the next week and see it again. And obviously since then, probably seen it, you know, 10, 20 times.
Yeah.
So I think we were fortunate to sort of grow up in that era of just brilliant film.
And I think going into a movie, not knowing anything and just being surprised, you know, not knowing what was going to happen next. And it just seemed like we were experiencing that every time we went to the movies or hired a tape from the video store. And I think, you know, we're trying to sort of recreate that experience a little bit with Late Night. You go in, you don't know what you're in for. Just, you know, let that experience wash over you, hopefully.
Yeah, I knew nothing going to this movie. I really don't like to watch trailers, even though we share them a lot. You know, I try not to watch them so I can be surprised. But but everyone knows David Dastmalchian's in this movie. Everyone's a big fan of his. I'm a big fan. So how did he become your late night host, and how early did he come in? Did he have any ideas he brought along with it? Because he loves this genre a lot.
Well, that's a good part of why we approached David, because we know what a horror nerd he is, basically. But he's also a terrific actor. So I don't know, he just ticked a whole lot of boxes, and ones we weren't even sort of anticipating. So when his name came up, we sort of suggested him to Roy Lee, one of our producers based here in LA. And he said, yeah, that's a really interesting idea. Fortunately, I'm friendly with David and I can give him a call. So the next thing you know, he's got the script, he's got our little lookbook that we did, and he's digging it, and we meet him a week later, and 6 months later, we're making a movie with him. So, it just felt right. Like you cannot imagine anyone else in that role. He was born to play this. And
he brought so much to it, not just what was on the page, but just this very lived-in character who could, riff and improvise with the best of him and the best of them. And, we would shoot scenes that were scripted, and then we wouldn't yell cut, and he'd just keep going and extemporize and come up with all this brilliant material. It's like, stop, David, we can't put it in, but
someone's gonna have to edit this.
It just spoiled for choice. Yeah.
I got to witness this actually in person when I went to San Diego Comic-Con last year, and he had his own panel, and he came out as Jack Delroy, and it was just amazing to see it. Like, so believable, perfect for the role, matches the entire cast. I feel like everyone was cast perfectly in this. But I must say, Ingrid Torelli, who plays Lily, scene stealer. Where did you find her?
She was quite a find. Look, our casting director, some of the, like, we had David, and there were a couple of actors that we knew and liked and had worked with who we wanted for certain roles. But Lily, we had no idea. So our casting director went out and got us a bunch of auditions. It wasn't that many. We maybe only saw 7 or 8 auditions for Lily. And she was the standout. We had her come back in and read again with us in the room. And once she gave that little, looked into camera, and you feel a little bit of your soul die. It's like, okay, she's got the part. Yeah. She was so into it, and her mum was as into it as much as she was. She was a delight. She was such a delight. A really lovely girl, really smart, bright young thing, but. She could turn on the menace in just, flick of a switch. It was amazing.
Did you give her any notes, or a lot of the stuff she was bringing herself? Because, like I said, she really kills it, and it's really daunting to see her performance.
Look, all of it's her. I mean, I think the best note we gave her was what, Colin was explaining before, was like, Ingrid, don't be afraid to look into the camera.
Yeah.
It's that kind of...
It's mesmerizing.
Yeah, it's that show. We can get away with this. So... Yeah. And she went, oh, okay.
So our job was just to say maybe a bit less this time. But when she does it, anyway, we pick our moments. But that's she was so commanding. Someone so young, and she's done quite a bit of theatre, but maybe not so much. Like, I think it's her first film. Yeah. But it's a real commanding presence, and she can, like I was saying, she can turn on that sinister switch, and it's. Yeah.
The cast is great. The characters are great. And to be honest, I think the time era of 1977 is a character itself. Can you talk about the process of bringing that time era to life?
Yeah, it was always key to us to make that feel as authentic as possible. And we were very fortunate in that respect that we had a production designer, Otello Stolfo, who was designing TV sets, back in that period and into the 80s. So he knew that world, and he knew what was required and how far to go. And our DP, Matt Temple, he got his break in the 80s, working in TV studios. So these guys knew exactly how that stuff was put together. So that helped. They knew when we were taking it too far, or we weren't being faithful to the era. So,
but the music was a big thing as well. In fact, the music, the Night Owls band music, was recorded maybe weeks, if not a month or two. Prior to production. So we had the music on set, we had the band on set, playing the charts, and that was almost like setting the bar for everyone, because it just sounds so of the time. The way it was recorded, we used old recording techniques.
And they were good music. They were all like serious jobbing musicians that we had on set. So they, in the film itself, we might use some of the pre-recorded stuff, but David was walking out to his own band playing his theme song, And how cool is that for an actor, you know? And it just, it created this atmosphere for cast and crew that was like, we are making a great classic TV show here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt in that time period. Congratulations on this great film. This is my first time being introduced to y'all's work. Y'all did a great job, and I'm really excited to see more from y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I hope, Houston audiences love it and the rest of the country as well. But thank you for your time.
Once again, this is Sean Taj, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and stay tuned for more movie news, reviews, interviews, and trailers.